Hey there, taxpayers. Let's be honest, the only thing more exciting than complaining about taxes is getting money back from the government. It's like finding a 20 in your pocket, except instead of a 20, it might be enough to buy a gently used riding lawnmower. But before you start planning that victory lap around the cul-de-sac, there are a few things you need to know about your 2025 tax refund. We're talking about how much you might get back, when you can expect it, and most importantly, how to avoid getting scammed by some digital bandit posing as the IRS. Because let's face it, the IRS is confusing enough on its own. It doesn't need any help from internet con artists. So buckle up, grab your W-2S, and let's dive into the wild world of 2025 IRS tax refunds. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a tax refund? In the simplest terms, it's like the universe acknowledging that you've overpaid on your taxes. It's the government saying, look, we appreciate you funding our space program and all, but you gave us a little too much. Here's some back to buy yourself something nice. Now, this magical money moment happens when you've had too much tax withheld from your paycheck throughout the year. Think of it like this. Your employer is legally obligated to snatch a portion of your hard-earned cash before you even see it. Like a very aggressive squirrel hoarding nuts for the winter. This, my friends, is called withholding. But here's the thing, sometimes the squirrel takes a little too much, and that's where the tax refund comes in. The IRS steps in, looks at what you actually owed based on your income, deductions, and those delightful things called tax credits. And if you've overpaid, boom, refund time. Now let's say you earned a cool $50,000 in 2025. Your employer, the eager squirrel, withheld $8,000. But after crunching the numbers, factoring in your shoe addiction and questionable life choices, the IRS decides you only owed $6,500. Congratulations, my friend, you're getting a $1,500 refund. That's enough for, well, it's 2025, who knows what $1,500 buys these days. Probably a month's worth of streaming services and a carton of eggs. But hey, it's better than nothing. Of course, predicting future refunds is about as reliable as a weather forecast in a hurricane. Inflation, those sneaky little tax law changes that politicians love to throw our way, and a whole host of other factors could affect how much you get back. That's why it's important to stay informed about tax credits, deductions, and any changes to the tax code. It's like playing a game where the rules are constantly changing, and the only way to win is to stay one step ahead. Speaking of winning, let's talk about how those sweet, sweet refunds are calculated. First up, we've got deductions. These bad boys are expenses you can subtract from your taxable income, effectively lowering the amount of money the government can take a bite out of. Then there are tax credits, which are like deductions on steroids. These beauties directly reduce the amount of tax you owe, dollar for dollar. So keep your eyes peeled for those credits and deductions, folks. They could be the difference between a disappointing refund and a celebratory dance party in your living room. Alright, you've filed your taxes, you're dreaming of that sweet, sweet refund. But when can you expect the IRS to actually cough up the dough? Well, the IRS usually likes to start accepting tax returns around late January of the following year. So, for those of you keeping track at home, that means late January 2026 for your 2025 taxes. And if you're smart, you'll file electronically and choose direct deposit. Why? Because it's the fastest way to get your money, that's why. We're talking 21 days or less. That's faster than it takes to grow a decent chia pet. But if you're still clinging to the Stone Age and decide to mail a paper return, be prepared to wait. We're talking 6 to 8 weeks. That's longer than it takes to binge watch all 7 seasons of The West Wing, twice. And trust me, waiting for a tax refund is infinitely less exciting than watching Jed Bartlett deliver a stirring speech about the State of the Union. Now here's a little pro tip from yours truly. Always e-file and use direct deposit. It's basically the tax equivalent of choosing the express lane at the grocery store. You want to get in and out with your loot as quickly and painlessly as possible. But here's the catch. And there's always a catch with the IRS, isn't there? If you're claiming certain credits like the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit, the IRS can't legally release your refund before mid-February. It's all part of a government effort to prevent fraud, which, let's be honest, is a bit like installing a screen door on a submarine. It might make you feel better, but it's not actually going to stop the really determined criminals. But, hey, rules are rules, even if they make about as much sense as a screen door on a submarine. So, what does this mean for you? Well, it means that if you're relying on those credits to make ends meet, you need to factor in that delay when you're planning your budget. because the last thing you want is to be stuck with late fees and overdraft charges while you're waiting for the government to process your return. Remember folks, the IRS might be slow, but those late fees are lightning fast. So, you've learned how refunds work and when you can expect to receive yours. Now let's talk about how to get the biggest refund possible. Because let's be honest, who doesn't love a little extra cash in their pocket? First things first, if you're constantly getting a huge refund, you might want to adjust your W-4 form. Now, I know what you're thinking. You want me to interact with a government form? Don't you know I'm trying to live my best life here? But trust me on this one. A smaller refund means you're keeping more of your money throughout the year, instead of giving Uncle Sam an interest-free loan. Plus, adjusting your W-4 is about as difficult as assembling IKEA furniture. Okay, maybe not that easy, but it's certainly less painful than a root canal. Next up, let's talk about record keeping. I know, it's about as exciting as watching paint dry. But trust me, keeping those receipts organized is crucial if you want to maximize your deductions. We're talking about medical expenses, charitable donations, work-from-home costs. Every little bit counts. It's like my grandma used to say, a penny saved is a penny you can use to buy a lottery ticket and dream about winning the lottery. Okay, maybe that wasn't her exact advice, but you get the idea. Now let's talk about scams, because unfortunately, there are a lot of shady characters out there who would love nothing more than to steal your hard-earned money. Remember, the IRS will never, and I repeat never, call, text, or email you about your refund. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS and demands immediate payment or personal information, run. It's a scam. It's like finding a message in a bottle that says, "Congratulations, you've won a free cruise. Just send us your social security number and bank account details." If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if you do encounter a scammer, report them to the IRS immediately. It's the least you can do to protect yourself and others from falling victim to these digital pirates. So there you have it, your crash course in 2025 IRS tax refunds. Hopefully, you've learned a thing or two and are now better equipped to navigate the wonderful world of taxes. Got questions about 2025 tax planning? Drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more money-saving tips. For real-time refund updates, use the IRS's Where's My Refund tool, link in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.